YouTube.
Hey guys, how's
We
it
are the
going?
Cokers. How's it going? Oh,
Yes, we are.
yeah, we're going live a bit early today. Yes, we're going live today. We're going live. It's Tuesday night, guys.
Come on.
It's that time again
Yep.
to see our beautiful faces on your screens. Join with us. We're just joining in a little bit early today.
Yes.
We've got some exciting stuff to talk
talk
about.
Absolutely. And we have so much to get through.
But we're going to take our time.
Yes, we are. No
We are
rushing.
going to take our time. Money.
So Ulrich's just pinning the comment. Hey Eva, how's it going, my lovely?
Language. Boom. And then books.
Yes.
And then
Woohoo.
pin. And then wait.
So, if you don't already know, we are talking about the art of communication. It's a new series that we're starting, and we've got a lot to cover. But before we get
Hi
any further
everybody,
in,
how are you? Oh, we're introducing the title. We ain't even warmed up yet. We haven't
you
shared
pinned
anything.
the comment. Hey Eva, how's it going, my lovely? I shared the comment for the people who are on Facebook and on YouTube because you won't see the comment pinned, and so it's just a little guideline for you for what you're missing.
Oh, okay. I'll let you off then.
To let you know what we are doing, what we're covering today, what we're excited to be sharing about. And also, there's so many ways that we can. There's so many areas to cover in this one here.
All right, let me share our stuff on
a good one
on the socials.
Yes. So whilst Ulrich checks that everything is all set up and everyone can hear us okay on Facebook and on YouTube, and that he shared it out so that everyone knows that we have gone live. I'm just going to tell you a bit about my day. So it's been a good one. It's been a really, really good one. I think that, like when you have about 12 things on your list to get through in the one day, I categorically can say that I achieved near enough about 10 of them, and that is really encouraging. Hey Kayan. So I didn't get everything done, but it was definitely a productive day, and there's not many things that have hung over to the next day. One big thing that's hung over, but hey, not much you could do about that. Hey Kyle, how's it going? But the good thing is there's a lot happening. It's that busy kind of season, isn't it? You come out of Valentine's Day, you come out of Pancake Day, you come out of people saying what they're giving up for Lent. Then before you know it, hey honey, what have you got? You've got the end of the month, and then you start Mother's Day and things. It's just been a busy couple of months.
Coupled into one, man. It's a lot.
Yeah, it has been, and we've been busy beavers working hard on business and lots of other things as well. Business and pleasure, I'd say. But yeah, how are you guys? Hope you've had a great day. Give me a quick shout. Let me know. Thumbs up in the chat. Good day, bad day, could have been better. How's it been for you guys? Let's see ya.
Cool. We're getting there. Almost done. Guys, pray for us, man. We need a team. Need a team, people, man.
Yeah. I like it. Get a thumbs up. Seeing people responding. They've had a good day so far. That's good. Praise God.
Amazing.
That's good.
It always does this.
It's been okay.
Yeah.
You know what? So, I got to tell you guys this. I picked up my little boy from school today, and he got in trouble for talking.
In class. Wow.
In class. But it's funny because the last few days he's been taking a water bottle to school, and he comes back home and the water bottle is still full, and I'm like, well, why are we giving you water if you're coming back with the water bottle half full? So we've been saying to him, if you don't finish your water at school, when you come back home, you're going to still drink that water with your dinner. So, hi Ols, how's it going? Hi Abby, good to see you, it's been a little while. So he comes home, and I meet him at his school gate, and his teacher tells me, he's been really he's been really chatty today, so he had to get a behaviour point. And I was like, oh my gosh. And he's looking at me like, Mummy, guess what? I'm like, why are you looking like you're celebrating when a teacher's saying you've done something wrong? What's up? He's like, I finished my water. Just like, okay, the grand scheme of things is like, you're still probably going to have water for your dinner because you're misbehaving at school. What's going on? So it's just, I say all of that to say some of the times we feel like the one thing that we're working on that's the most important sometimes can be the least of our worries, basically.
Exactly.
We can miss one thing, go after one thing so hard that we miss the other. But yeah, all that aside, I'm glad that you guys are good. I'm glad that you're having a good day. We are okay. And we're going to start.
Yeah, so welcome everybody. Hope you guys are good.
Yes.
Siobhan's warmed you guys up a little bit.
Our little experiences.
But yes, guys, it's a new month for us. It's a new topic now. Shifting into something a little bit, a little bit interesting. It's a big topic, as you can see pinned on the chat. It's a big topic, and we're going to be talking about the art of communication. So stick with us for the next kind of like 5-6 weeks.
Yes.
We're going to kind of talk about a few elements that just a few bits that we've kind of learned along the way.
Yeah. And
hope that it's of some sort of value to you guys. Definitely. So I hope you guys will enjoy it. So for those of you that don't know us, you might be watching us live today, or you might be watching us on the rebroadcast. My name is Ulrich.
And I'm Siobhan.
And this is To Love Collective. And our ethos is that believing in love again. And what that means is that it doesn't matter where you are in your relationship.
Absolutely.
Whether that be romantic, whether that be your siblings, your parents, your colleagues. Doesn't matter what relationship that you're in. You can believe in love again.
That's right.
Whether it's negative, you can always believe. And even if it's positive, there's always space for you to improve your love giving and your language. And if you missed any of our love language series, please go to our YouTube channel and our Facebook page and catch up.
Binge watch.
Because
do what you need
it was so good.
Yeah.
Particularly the physical touch.
Jeez.
We went over our rule of 40 to 50 minutes.
Yes.
And we went for like almost an hour.
Double that. No, it was like 2 hours almost. It was.
Yeah, if you got the time, definitely just put it in your ears as you're going to work or as you're going for your run or whatever, and just divulge.
Yeah,
because it was some good stuff, man. Indulge.
Yeah.
Divulge. Is that a word?
No, but divulge means like to give.
Yeah, to give, isn't it? No, joking. Indulge, of course, because you're taking it in. Hello. She hates that about me. She's laughing, but she really doesn't like that about me. I say the wrong words all the time. Anyway, we love God. He covers all of our flaws.
Yes.
But yes, guys. So, like we said, we're going to be talking about the art of communication.
Yes.
Which is a massive topic, and we are not by any means trying to cover the whole entirety of it. But we are going to talk about some important things.
Absolutely. And just to say, Carl, you're absolutely right. That probably is why he was talking so much. And Arlene, you are so right. It is such a big topic. You can't you definitely cannot cover it in 5 to 6 weeks. It is 5 to 6 years. It's one of those things that people will continually go back over.
100.
Communication. And I love that Arlene has highlighted this, because Arlene so graciously joined us on our live earlier in the year. I think it was January. Arlene is a divorce lawyer, and what she was highlighting to us is a number of the reasons why marriages break down and end up with Arlene now having to
powerful.
step in is because of the breakdown in communication. It is the miscommunications, the things that go, the subtleties that happen along the way that
Absolutely.
we kind of let go or miss and don't deal with, and then as a result they just they have catastrophic effects, because what happens is people
It's all right, Arlene. I'm used to it. It's okay.
honestly,
It's okay.
okay, so this is a thing, okay? This is
Things
a
she's
thing.
given up for love. We need to reel that back up again, man.
Honestly. Arlene, you hit something, because it comes across like it's rude to correct your husband on public platforms like this.
It's okay.
And I'm really sorry, guys.
delivered. I'm
because-
delivered.
It's not the intention. It's like
It's all love, man. We
Yeah.
totally, yeah.
it's like
we-
how
we
some
got over
people
that one.
feel about coasters. You know, like when
On the
people
table.
put a drink down and it leaves the ring. It's like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
okay.
But yes, communication,
Back.
guys.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that live was really powerful.
Yeah.
Because I think what was so important, that really stuck out for me, even though I kind of already knew it already, but to actually hear somebody who's a professional, who deals with, divorce cases on a regular basis, to actually hear that from her own assessment.
Yeah.
It's not sex per se, it's not finances,
yeah.
it's not, even infidelity or any of these things, but actually at the root of all those things is communication.
Yeah.
If we're not communicating our expectations, our
Yeah.
desires, our wants, our needs, our love languages,
Jesus.
then it breaks communication.
Yeah.
Because communication is the vehicle through which you are able to express who you are. And the problem is that if one person stops expressing, the other person stops learning.
Preach.
I'll say it again. If one person stops expressing,
That's right.
the other person stops learning. Because one thing that I've always said to Siobhan since we got married, and I put this ring on my finger, I am not, and never will I ever be, a mind reader.
That's right.
Even though I'm wearing a DC t-shirt, I do not have powers. I don't have special abilities to be able to read minds. I can't do it. Even though we're 10 years in, there's certain things that I can preempt
Yeah.
and kind of know just because
Yeah.
I've lived with her for such a long time.
Yeah.
But I still can't read her mind. Do you know what I mean?
And that is the crux of what we're going to be discussing today, because
Yeah.
today we're looking at reading body language, where the person is expecting you to be a mind reader. Now, I do not know a single relationship, a single person who can say they have always expressively said how they're feeling, what they're thinking, what they want, when they want it,
Every time.
any of those things. That they never leave anything to chance, that the person needs to read their body language. For some reason.
Yeah, she got all the analogies. She should write a book of analogies, man. Trust.
Yeah.
It's deep. From the supermarkets and that stuff. It's deep. It's deep.
Because the body language is literally the way that we like. So here's the joke. Before I even said anything, the cringe in me was like, Ulrich said something, it was incorrect. Oh no, what do I do? I need to fight the urge. But the point is, I say all of it to say that whether we realise it or not, we express ourselves through our body language. So what's it? 20% or 30% of what you say is communicated with what comes out of your mouth. 70% of what you say is communicated with your body language. So unfortunately, some of the time we default to this being the main expression of how we feel.
Yes.
And we allow ourselves to communicate or try to get the other person in the relationship to read our body language and not misinterpret it. And that's what's mad.
And really at the root of it, when I actually think about it, even like in myself, and probably many of you, it's fear.
Yeah.
It's fear, because you default to sending signals instead of just saying what it is. Because you're kind of like, if I say this, how are they going to react?
Yeah.
Like, is it too raw? Do you know what I mean? And sometimes I envy couples, you know, when I go and I sit around the table and I hear other couples talking, it's just like, yeah, man, I'll just say it as it is. I'm like, oh, yeah. You say it as it is. Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
I don't know. I mean,
need to come to your house and eat what you're eating, because I don't know how to
yeah, but
sometimes
I think
do that. It's
you value the person's feelings. You don't want to hurt their feelings. You
Of
don't want to
course.
upset them. You don't want to do something that's now going to offend them. So as a result, you're trying your best not to get to that place. But the problem is, if you're upset about something, you're processing it and you're not ready to say what's going on with you, you're automatically displaying everything that you're feeling in your body language.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Some people have learned to mask it.
Yeah, some people have. There are amazing people out there who, and they're scary because they can look you in the face and be like, everything is fine. And
then
in
they
their
turn
head,
around,
they're
they're
like,
just cussing you.
you don't want to be married to those kind of people. You need it to be that when they're giving you the cold shoulder, you can figure out, okay, something's wrong.
Yeah.
I need to do something. We need to address something. We need to talk about something.
Yeah.
I never forget when
Here we go.
when we first got married, within
Yes.
like the first maybe 2 or 3 months, it was early
My
stages.
God.
Ulrich used to play this game, and I hated this game.
Oh. I'm trying to think if I know
But
what she's
Ulrich
going to
used to
say
play
now.
this game where I'd say like, "What do you want for breakfast?" And he'd say, And I was like, "What?" He's like, and it'd drive me up the wall. I'd be like, "Just say what you want to eat."
Listen, that was my back slang, okay? That was my back
like
slang.
some people
You
spoke
get me?
back slang, some people did other things.
If a go, have a guy, have a go, have a goo.
Ulrich wanted you to
If a got.
read.
Yeah, I was teaching her my language.
It was so annoying. But he could see I was getting frustrated by it, so it wasn't a fun game. Whereas for him, he was like, "You're nearly there." Every time you get the thing wrong, he'd be like, "Cornflakes." Frosted.
What was his name? Was it Sooty? Was it Sooty that used to do that?
Yeah. It's not a fun.
I'm
It's
showing
not a
my
fun
age.
game.
I'm sorry.
It's not a fun game, but Ulrich would play this game.
Sooty boy.
Now,
Come on.
I didn't realise it at the time, but what it was teaching me is decoding. Because marriage and communication is largely to do with decoding.
Come on.
And we had to now, so I have to be honest with you guys, Ulrich and I, we didn't live together before we got married. We didn't do any of that stuff. So it was like, okay, up until the 24th of September 2010, we were not allowed to be in the same bed. And then we were allowed to be in the same bed, be in each other's space. It's just a weird
Yeah, it's a
transition.
mad
You go
shift.
from this person who you're not allowed to touch, now you're allowed to touch them. And then on top of all of that, you have to now get to the point that you're trying to read them and what they do and their body language in this new way, because you've interacted with them in a certain way, and then up until this point you kind of had to put up safeguarding things to stop you from doing certain things, and now you have to,
or divulging all of you
Yeah.
to them. You've been putting barriers up, man.
and now you have all those barriers to like press down, take that barrier down, take that barrier down. This person now needs to be more intimate with me. I need to let them in and come in closer and talk to
See
them
a
and
nastiness behind the
Exactly.
scenes.
So
Trust me, it's an eye opener, man.
it's a complete eye opener.
I'm just like, wow, so this is the reason. Woo! And I got the revelation. I was just like, it all makes sense now. And the thing is, what's really important, this is why we're so passionate about this whole like preparation and, you know, talking about these things before, you know, you get into any kind of romantic relationship. Because when you actually see the person,
yeah,
God help you that you guys are not friends.
Yeah.
God help you. Do you know what I mean? Because there's some things that will probably surprise you.
Yeah.
Because you don't know everything about the person.
That's
Even
right.
though you go through courtship, you go through all the conversations. Yeah, all of that stuff is
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
You talk about finances. Listen, sometimes
live
there's
with
some nice surprises waiting for you. And your foundation really needs to be so much deeper than surface.
Yeah.
To be able to handle those things.
Absolutely.
Do you get what I mean?
And I love what Arlene's saying here, because she said, as with anything, it varies from person to person, her husband and herself. They learned very early that silence kills. So they would have to talk about it. And this is where we get to with today's topic. It is that silent treatment. The things that are not said, but are trying to be communicated. So
100%.
The decoding, the understanding, the misinterpreting, the trying to figure out what's meant by that is so crazy, because quite often we see ourselves expecting this person to get it.
Yeah.
We see ourselves expecting this person to just figure it out because it seems quite logical to us.
Yeah.
And yet, in that same reading the body language, you're just like, why haven't they come to me? Why haven't they come to sort this thing out? They can see I'm annoyed by something. But then on the flip side, the other person's like, well, clearly if you're annoyed about something, you should just open up your mouth and say it. And then you've got two people on the opposite side of the room saying, listen, well, I thought you would have come to me. And then you've got another person saying, I
thought that you would have just said what's on your mind.
So if you're upset with me, why don't you just say?
Jesus.
And then before you know it, hours have gone past, or
days
have gone past, depending on how long you've left it. God forbid it's weeks. It can't be. But the point of it is, so much time has gone past and you're at an impasse, and it could have been resolved with, I misunderstood. I didn't even realise. Oh, I forgot. Yeah. And because you're still learning to read each other's body language, read what this touch meant. Oh my Lord in heaven. There's like, this is something that Ulrich and I have had to master. When we sing, we communicate with each other by looking at each other. You're going high, you're going low. You're going to go harmony now?
You're going to do double-double?
Double-double? Alright, I'll follow you. However, at the beginning, you're figuring it out. You're missing.
Guys, it was actually dreadful. It was like, we need to do a series on like when we started the album.
Yeah. Oh gosh, the beef. It was problems
every day. It was just like, no, you can't do that note. It's too high. It's too low. I can't sing down there. No, you do that note. No, let's harmonize here. No, let's do unison, and then we. Listen.
So whose idea is it then? Whose song is it? Well, it does, just because it's your song doesn't mean that you get to say.
No, but this is how I wrote it. No, but
see that line used to come out all the time. Yeah, but that's how. No, that's not how I wrote it though.
But that's how God gave me it.
Honestly.
Yeah, but it doesn't make musical sense
for it to go here.
It doesn't go there.
Now we had to learn how to understand.
Yeah.
Like those kind of situations, because what would happen is we'd get into that fallout and then we'd be upset.
Yeah.
And then we're trying to read each other's body language. And what you're trying to read is, how angry are you? Is our relationship in trouble?
Yeah.
We're like on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is this?
Yeah. But I think that was very much your thing though.
What do you mean?
You were very much about thinking, oh my gosh, is it all like ending? Anytime we got into an argument.
No, not ending. Just like, okay, how long are we going to be like not talking? So I didn't question if we were going to break up. I just questioned, okay, so how long are you planning to be upset with me? Is it like an hour? Can I, Like,
See, guys, I have to confess, being vulnerable and transparent, like forgiveness was a really hard thing for me to do when we got married. Like it was that was like my thorn. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just anytime we beefed, like I literally had it in my mind that if I tell you to do something, or if I tell you that something hurts me and you do it, that means you intentionally did it to get at me. And that used to take me anything between about 2 or 3 days to get over.
Honestly,
like
guys.
easily.
Honestly,
I just could not shake it because I was just like, why would you do that?
And then I would be here like the game that he played with the cornflakes and the cereal would now be manifesting with, so he's still upset. Okay.
Yeah, but do you understand why I'm upset?
By this time,
that's why
I'm past caring. I'm just like.
But then that's what used to wind me up because it's just like, but do you actually understand? Because she would just be very kind of flippant because I think for her it was easy to just forgive and forget. Whereas for me, I'm just like, mate, you just bun me, man.
And I get it. I understand.
Yeah, but
I understood.
Body language, but your body language is just saying, can we just get over this? But
Yes,
actually, I can't because I'm still processing this.
And this is where I'm
still processing this.
And this is where we get to reading that body language. Because for Ulrich...
Because sometimes the body language communicates louder than the verbal.
Exactly.
And so
now he's not upset, but he's processing.
Right.
You're not upset with me anymore. You are now going through your... I need to let this thing go. I need to forgive. I need to... But what happens is, and this is the deepest part, what would happen is we would experience withdrawal. So what would happen is Ulrich would go into a cave area to deal with this. And we're going to come to this in the next bit. And then I would be like, I'm trying to read your body language because I'm not getting anything else because he's going through his time of processing and I can't rush him because this is our first time being in this season, being in this experience, and at the very same time, whilst he's going through breaking down the layers of how it's made him feel and so on and so on, I'm like, okay, but are we not gonna hold hands, or are we not gonna sit down and watch a movie together?
No. So yeah, maybe, but you can stay over there and I'll stay over here.
See, and that right there tells me you're still upset with me.
Yeah, I am, and that's exactly what my body language is communicating. I am still vexed with you. You are ready to get over it, but I'm not. I actually want to wallow in this feeling.
Therein lies the problem.
And that's what it was.
I
can say it now. Feeling. I can say it now because, praise God, God has delivered me.
Exactly. And I thank God that he has delivered.
Amen,
because
amen.
the Lord knows there were days when I'd be like, are you enjoying this? I'm being upset with you feeling.
Sometimes.
And this is where it, like, honestly, guys, we can.
It's pride, isn't it?
Exactly. We're talking about it now because of.
You better take that duvet and find yourself upstairs.
And we're gonna come to this in a bit because what you
we
shared
had a few close moments.
I'm telling you exactly.
A few close moments. I had to say to Siobhan, just remember, you're the one that's walking out of the bedroom.
And you're just like,
fine.
And we're exactly the same. So just going back off Arlene's point, there's nothing worse than when you have an argument or a disagreement and it's at night time. The two of you need to get to bed, but
something else should be happening, but it's not.
It can't happen. The two of you are upset, and because of it, you feel like, okay, cool, maybe we need to be in separate rooms. I'll go and sleep on the settee, or I'll go into the other room. And I never forget, we did it a couple of times at the very, like, when we were in, like, the first 2 or 3 months of our relationship. We had slept on the settee, and it was horrible.
Yeah, it wasn't nice.
It wasn't a nice feeling. And then we had to get to this stage that we had to release each other with a pact and say, we are not going to allow this to continue. This is practice in separation. And we are not about separation. We are about staying together. Divorce is not an option.
Yeah.
So no matter how upset we are with each other, you
Yeah.
lie down next to me in that bed. We sleep back to back. Then don't even look in my direction.
Don't even touch me. Just give me.
Stop pulling the covers.
Just give it.
Stop.
Just give it.
Look, I'll
And you
get a
know when you
separate
sleep back to back,
duvet.
it takes more duvet. 'Cause it has to go. And there's a big draft in between.
And honestly, there would be days where we just fine. I'll get a separate duvet so that I'm not pulling and you're not pulling, and
Exactly.
we're not getting into any kind of problems.
It's deep, man.
But the point of that is to make sure we're saying to each other, even in the midst of what's going on,
Yeah.
we are gonna get through this. We're not allowing this to make us question the grand scheme of things. This
Yeah.
is something small. It's not nice, but we're gonna weather this one. So I totally agree with you, Arlene, and your husband, how he's basically just said, you know what, we're not giving the enemy a foothold. We're not even allowing him to come up into the relationship and start practicing certain things.
Yeah.
But just going back to what we were saying about processing and body language and actually saying to each other when we've had a miscommunication, when we have fallen out, we have to be mindful of what we're doing to our spouse. Because in that moment when we're upset with them, our love for them shouldn't be called into question.
Yeah.
And a number of times when conflict happens in relationships, the way the person or the people within it feel is almost like they question if love is still present. You know,
Because
and
it's their ideals of what love is. It's like when everything is roses, that's when like love is. But
Yeah.
love is a continual decision. And sometimes you have to make it when you don't even feel like it.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So it transcends feelings and it transcends pride and it
Yeah.
transcends like even moments. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
It has to be something that you dig deep inside and just decide, look, it's gotta be bigger than me.
absolutely. Because it's like, if Ulrich and I have had a falling out, that doesn't mean now that I don't cook his dinner. It can't be that now he doesn't bath the kids or something, you know, like something mad where it's just like, just because we are processing
Definitely.
and forgiving and releasing and arriving at a meeting point doesn't now mean that our
That we can't connect.
yes
Because I think that's kind of like what we're teaching Matthias at the same time as well. Because just because we are stern with him or we punish him or
for something that he's done.
for something he's done or we tell him off or whatever, like he has to understand that yes, you're being corrected, but I still love you.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Because I think growing up, a lot of us from our, African or Caribbean cultures, a lot of the times we just saw the correction. Do you know what I mean? We never really saw the love. And as a child, children see your body language.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They read it. And I think as a default, many of us are acting out what we saw growing up.
Jeez.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we don't even realize it
Yeah.
because we've been taught to read things in a particular way.
Yeah.
So it's it's such a and you have to be conscious about it and actually say, no, I'm actually going to do something about this.
Yes.
Because for me, when I get upset with Matthias in terms of like something he's done, I have to consciously make a decision. He knows I'm upset.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He goes to bed, with his head down and all that kind of stuff. All the sulking business. But then I have to remember, okay, Ulrich, as much as you've disciplined him, go back in there,
And read
give him a
bedtime
hug,
story.
give him a kiss on his forehead and say goodnight and tell him that you love him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's the same thing with other relationships. Do you know what I mean? And I always used to say to Siobhan, because, Siobhan doesn't really like conflict. She didn't like it at all.
Don't like
She
it
didn't
at
like
all. I don't
arguing.
like
She
it.
didn't like, because it just made her feel like, oh my gosh, we're not connecting. And that used to infuriate me. And the reason why, because for me, I knew that in conflict, that's where we grow. And
Yeah.
that's where we learn about each
Yeah.
other. And we learn to walk together. Do you know what I mean? But she always wanted to kind of avoid it. And I was just like, well, don't make me to be the bad guy. Because that's how it always came across. It was
Yeah,
always like,
it's
oh, but
true.
I just want us to be lovey-dovey and just hold hands and just, snuggle. I'm just like, no. But you upset me. Or
Yeah.
I upset you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. Don't just, muddle over it.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Let's bring it to the table.
Yeah.
And let's thrash it out. Sometimes it's good to have a little...
Yeah, and you need that tussle. You need that tussle because they're kind of like, what are they called? They're like, if you're reading a map and you've got like points that,
key.
yeah, it's like a key, like where you will remember that situation or that thing that took place and what you learned from it. So these are milestones that your relationship experiences when you know we're never going to be back here again because we've learned X, Y, and Z from this experience. And the point of all of it is that with everything that's going on, we need to be able to be at the position where our body language, even if we are communicating that we are upset with each other, our body language is not communicating, get away from me, I don't want to know you. Like, there's a way that we need to have conflict in love. It's so strange.
crazy.
It's so crazy because your emotions are driving you, especially when you're upset.
Yeah.
But you're not going to want to be snuggling with each other. And we're not trying to say do that because that's impossible. However, your body language still needs to be communicating, but I'm not going anywhere. You know, like if you get so angry with each other that one of you needs to clear your head or something, the body language that can be read from that is, oh my gosh, you're walking out.
Exactly. Based on the other person's experience.
Exactly. But actually,
You just need to clear your head and get away from the situation.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it just might get so peak.
And for you to calm down, so it might be that you need to express it and say it, or what you need to do is go to another room and open a window or something like that. I hear what you're saying about processing, but if your body language is hostile, aren't you still sinning by not showing love? The Bible says be quick to forgive. So shouldn't we move on quickly? We should,
but it's a process.
Exactly. For some people,
It's a process.
from whatever they've experienced, they will find that easier than others.
Definitely.
And
sometimes you have to be in a position where you are practicing forgiveness.
yes.
And I think for me, I can definitely hold my hand up and say, I have practiced forgiveness with Siobhan. Because we have had so many reasons to fall out. And I think because of the nature of who we are as a couple and the fact that we pretty much work together on everything.
Yeah.
Whether it's the home, the kids,
Projects,
our
music,
jobs,
yeah,
amen, praise the
everything.
Lord. Do you know what I mean? It's like we work together.
Yeah.
And so we have fallen out
Yeah.
so many times. And so I've had to practice forgiveness. But the
Quick.
problem is that some of the situations that we're faced with, we don't necessarily get the practice.
Yeah. That's true.
So it could be a stronghold based
That's
on
true.
your experience or based
Yeah.
on when you were younger or whatever. But how do you practice the forgiveness when you're not in that situation regularly enough
To
or
forgive.
faced with it enough
Yeah.
to become a master at it?
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes is where it's really difficult. So in some situations, it's easy for you to learn how to forgive quickly. But for others, it just takes time. It's process.
Yeah. It's like if you are expecting to have more patience, it's not that you're going to be in situations where you need to wait around. You're going to be in situations where you want to move fast, but actually you have to wait.
Yeah.
It's like if you want a situation where God allows you to be more calm, God's going to put you in more situations where you get angry quickly. And you now have to learn how to hold yourself, exercise that self-control, and then go to that degree. So the example is with forgiving quickly. Effectively, the only way that you would learn how to forgive quickly is to continually get upset with the person, where you now are forced to get to a point that even if you held on to this, we have to move on. So a number of times, like Ulrika said, we've got other things to do. We've got decisions that we have to make. We have to think creatively, or we have to go somewhere. We've got a meeting. We've got a Zoom call. We've got counselling even to do. So you haven't even got time to be upset with each other, because you now have to work together to pour into some other people. And you're just like, there isn't time for us to hold on to. That. I mean, I'll never forget Sundays travelling into church, us having had a disagreement, and then you got to go up and lead God's people in praise and worship.
Listen,
guys, there's no time.
We could write a book on that. Like, ready to go on big sets, you know, to sound check, and it's a struggle because you're just looking at the person and you're just like, you're connecting with them on this level, but then you are disagreeing with them on this other level. And how do you now come together to be in sync?
Honestly, like, I'll give you the smallest example, but it was a big one that comes to mind. I remember we were doing Volney.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So we are travelling into London to do this event. We're going there to sound check. And at the same time, Ulrich and I are having the biggest argument that we've had for a long time. And I mean, like, we're shouting at each other. Like, it has grown because we're in the car. So, you know, like, when you're in tight and enclosed spaces, it heightens. There's no room to walk around or anything like that. So there's no breathing space. It's just the two of you coming back, and your response. I just think arguing in the car is just one of the most dangerous things. Try your best not to argue in the car, guys. If you can, just say, listen, let's hold it, let's put a pin in it, and let's discuss it when we get home, because anything can happen. But I never forget, it was pouring down with rain, and we were having a big fallout. And on top of that, we were dressed ready to leave the car and go on the stage and do a sound check. And God is our witness. We did not stop the argument because of love. We stopped the argument because if anything else was said,
it would have just gone higher and higher.
It would have been just a complete supernova. We get out of the car and we're seeing people who are like, oh, hi, guys. And you would never believe. We're looking at each other like this.
The smile comes down real quick, but trust.
And then someone comes up to you, hi, yeah, it's good to see you.
Oh, you guys look so good. Oh, thanks.
And your voice is all like, you've been shouting at each other, like croaky. Shortly afterwards, we had to sing to each other, and you know, it was one of those romantic songs that we were doing, so we had to sing into each other's eyes and look at each other and give each other signals. We hadn't resolved this issue, but we needed it to go away. I say all of it to say that there are times when we've had to you're forced to get to the stage that you can just forgive quickly, process easily, try your best to let it go, because I tell you what, more so than anything else, you are hindering your progress and moving forward.
It's true. And Arlene, I definitely agree with what you're saying in terms of, like, do you know what I mean? You know, just don't want unforgiveness to hinder your relationship with God.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes, it's just, sometimes you just have to be real with your emotions, because sometimes sometimes they take over. And it's like, for me, sometimes, like, only now, really, can I really say that if we have an argument, it doesn't generally get, like, heated it used to.
No, definitely not.
Because we've kind of been together enough. We've had enough arguments about stuff to kind of be like, well, this is not really worth getting there. But we have had some.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And even on that point, you know, with the children, like, we've had times where we've argued in front of in front of Matthias.
Yeah, we have.
Where Matthias has got involved. And this is bad. Again, just being humble and transparent. Where he's
Yeah.
just like, no, but daddy, kiss mommy now, kiss mommy now. Do you know what I mean? He just wants to get to the makeup because he sees that. But I think for us, at the same time, as well as knowing that we need to forgive quickly, it's also for them to see that arguing is actually okay.
Yeah.
Because what we are not afraid, but what we are careful is to make sure that they see balance.
Yes.
They don't see perfection.
Yeah.
Because if they see perfection, then they will begin to think that they have to be perfect.
Yeah.
And the reality is,
It's not.
sometimes mommy and daddy get upset with each other.
Yes.
But what they need to see is us making up.
Yeah.
Because sometimes growing up, that's what we didn't see. Do you understand? And so you begin to, it just messes up your whole way of looking at things.
You misconceive, and I think with that comes now you planting new seeds in the child's head, and that's not what you want. And
sorry to cut you, and I just remember just before I forget, and there's been even times where things have gone too far. Do you know what I mean? And Siobhan has said, look, Oric, you need to go and and explain that to Matthias to make sure that he doesn't start thinking crazy stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because some I can't remember what it was. I just went too far. Do you get what I mean? I just went too far. I can't remember if it was something I said or something I did.
Something you said.
And then, Siobhan was just like, no, you need to go and like sort that out. And I was just like, oh, really? And then it was just like, cool. Do you know what I mean? And I spoke to him and I said, look, you should never speak to, I can't remember what it was.
Mummy like that.
Yeah, or something like that. Anyway, so it's like we are constantly, being an example, especially to our children.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? But I always say, look, I'd rather that he sees it.
Yeah.
Because there's so much that as children was hidden from us. And all we saw was perfection. And so when we started to mess up and not hit perfection, we started to now feel like there was something wrong with us, that we weren't able to hit it. And I think that needs to be broken in our generation for them to realize that, look, we're not perfect people. We make mistakes. We don't get it right all of the time. But when we make mistakes, this is how we process it and this is how we deal with it. Do you know what I mean?
It's true.
So
it's true. And I think like overall our children are they are the ones that need to be able to testify that we are the ones that what we say on a Sunday or a Tuesday or anything is exactly what happens in the house.
100%.
Because there's nothing worse than you paint this picture for the world outside and your child is looking at you like you're a hypocrite. God forbid. The truth needs to stand up straight as an arrow, both in our home and anywhere else, really. So that's always been our heart's desire. That's always been our drive, that any person who can attest to us or speak about us or anything like that, the same word needs to carry through. And I think that's the point of what you're trying to do. You're trying to raise your children in a way that they can see that. But like, just to round off, because I know that it's coming to the end, but we would really like to say, guys, nobody's a mind reader in your relationship. But what we would always encourage is, even though you are reading body language, try your best not to react to the body language. But speak to one another. Because in essence, everything that's going on is an expression of how the person is feeling. But if you have tried already to speak to one another and it gets the argument heightened even more, let yourselves cool down, calm down, so on and so on, and then try and come back again when you're at a level head. But the point is, speak to each other. Try not to read the body language, because you can misinterpret what's being communicated.
100%.
And then end up in a whole new place.
Definitely.
Which is not what we...
Definitely. And I think as well, a good thing that's kind of worked for me is just understanding like the nature of men and women as well. Like, men are very factual and women are very emotional. And I think the moment that I understood that and started to kind of practice it, it just changed everything.
Yeah.
Because I started to now communicate in her language.
Yes.
So that she can now understand me better. That was difficult because I'm just like, look, you did this, and this, and then it was just like, no, but how do you feel? Because I was getting frustrated because she didn't understand where I was coming from. So I had to speak her language so she could understand, and that really did transform things. But yes, the little man is telling us he is awake. But guys, we want to say a massive thank you. Remember, continue to communicate.
Yes.
The moment you stop communicating, the other person stops learning. They stop learning. So if you stop communicating, they stop learning. So yeah,
Absolutely.
have an amazing evening, guys.
Bye.
Peace out. Bye.